Hello and welcome to ESL Level 3-4. This week's topic is going to be the vocabulary of banking and finance. So we'll start with some guiding questions. How do you open a checking account? And why do certain items have high worth and other items have no value? There's some activities that you can do here to talk about those. And we're going to talk about those in the lesson. So let's start with the vocabulary. We have deposit, withdraw, spend, purchase, debit and credit, savings, checking account, worth, invest, budget, and debt. Some of these are hard to find images for, so let's look at the definitions. You should read these to yourself, write them down, practice using them in some sentences. But we're going to use them in some scenarios here. So first, let's talk about the steps for opening a bank account. In here, you can practice changing the pronoun your to my and practice saying the phrases. They are in present, past, and future tense. So if you want to open a bank account, you have to go to the bank, sign in to see a banker, you have to wait to be called, you sit with the banker, you give the banker your information, you'll receive your temporary bank card, you'll prepare your first deposit slip, you'll deposit money into your account, and then you will leave the bank. And you can practice these in the past and the future tense. So we're going to listen to a skit of a man who is opening a bank account. Okay, so let's practice using our vocabulary. Listen to this skit. You can read along with the skit in your slides, practice reading it out loud, and then afterwards answer the questions.
Hello, how can I help you today?
Good morning. I would like to open a checking account.
Fantastic! You will need to go to the kiosk to sign in to speak to a banker.
Okay. Geesh, I wonder how long this is going to take.
Mr. Lockbarn? Mr. Lockbarn?
That's me. I am Mr. Lockbarn.
Welcome. My name is Jim. I see that you would like to open an account.
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, please follow me to my desk and we will get you all set up. Okay, Mr. Lockbarn, can I please see your ID or driver's license?
Sure, here it is.
Thank you. Okay, let me just scan that. Everything looks in order. How much would you like to deposit?
5 gold bars.
Wow. Well, okay. I'm gonna need to call my supervisor.
No problem.
Bidding, 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 bidding. Mike, can you please come to my office ASAP? I need your help with some assets.
Holy moly! That is a big pile of gold. We will need the scales to figure out what it's worth.
That sounds great. Let's handle this business.
All right. Well, Mr. Lockbarn is very fortunate, isn't he? So let's answer these questions. When you look in your slides, the answers will pop in there. The bottom question has more than one right answer. Same here. There's some true or false questions, and when you're in your slides, the answers will pop in. Okay, let's do a little bit of thinking. And we know that Mr. Lockbarn had 5 gold bars, 1 kilogram each. So do a little math, and how much money, how many dollars is 5 kilograms of gold worth? When you finish calculating, go ahead and fill it into this form. You can make up some of the other information that you need for the form. You can also talk about the unique parts of this form, such as the routing number and the account number. We often get asked for our routing numbers. All right, so let's move on and look at the modal verbs could, should, and would. We'll use these to show obligation, an opinion, a set of options, or an intention. But let's start with ourselves. What would you do if you had a lot of money? How would you grow your money? There's a lot of common investments. We have savings, property, stocks, and bonds. We can take our asset of gold and we can turn it into some of these other assets, a house, a nice suit. We could buy a boat. We could put it in the gambling machine and hope we do well. But the real question that we will talk about is what should you do? So should is to show an obligation to give a recommendation or your opinion. There's some sample sentences there. And should is kind of a judgment. It's what your opinion, what you think he should do. So Mr. Lockbourne has about $300,000. How should he invest it? There's many answers here, right? But also pay attention to our preposition on or in and match the on or in to the item that you are suggesting. Another thing is could. Could is about possibilities. A lot of times we say you could do this or you could do that, right? So it's showing options or possibilities. So Mr. Lockbourne has about $300,000. How could he invest it? There's some sentence frames for you to fill in there. A lot of times we want to show options there. But there's also could as a, is it able to be done? So could Mr. Lockbourne purchase a house, a car, and $20,000 of stock in Coca-Cola? Well, it would depend, wouldn't it? It would depend on how expensive his house was and how expensive his car was. All right, and then the last modal verb we'll look at is would. Would is to a conditional mood to express the result of an imagined situation. So he would buy a new car if he could, or I would never have a horse as a house pet, right? Would is similar to will. So what would you spend the money on if it was yours? Talk about this, write some sentences, fill in the blanks, say them out loud, right? And then when we're in class, we'll talk about all of this. Thank you all so much. Hope to see you soon and have a great class. Bye-bye.